Why are you gay?
You've always been gay? What?
When will you wear wigs?
Is that something you grow out of, or?
It's called death. That's castration. But no, who are you?
Wait, who are you?
What is the meaning of life?
42.
The
Surprised you didn't say I didn't ask for your age.
no.
I was really expecting you to say that.
No, I'm just confused. No.
How about we start with you?
Okay. You can ask me a question. Just know I'll probably end up dittoing a lot of them.
Yes. What got you into strongman?
What got me into strongman? It's a very interesting question. I'm glad you asked. Uh, so I come from a family of runners, and so I did cross country and track, and of course I'm not really built for that. But so I ended up doing throwing while I was doing track. I'm trying to figure out what cracked you up. Was it just the fact that I started answering your question?
No. Well, I'm not really built for running. You got me there.
I'm not.
I
I'm 5'10", and my shoulders are bigger than my hips,
I agree with
and I got wide hips. But so I was into throwing, and whenever I dislocated and broke my kneecap in 2020, which knocked me out of commission of running for a while, um, I figured I could at least, help improve my throwing. So I started really and truly delving into weightlifting, which kind of shows you what quality thrower I was, that I wasn't already invested in weightlifting before then. Um, but no, so I went to who I assumed was going to be the most knowledgeable guy that I had ever seen on the internet, which was Robert Oberst.
Yeah.
He had done some shooting stuff with a gun YouTube channel that I watched, and I was like, that's a big, strong fella. Let me go see what he does. And then I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. And then it was a downhill spiral from there. That would have been in probably like end of summer, like July, August time period of 2020, whenever I really started to get into it. And then I just kind of trained for strength in general for a couple of years, and then I did my first strongman competition in January of 23. And now here we are, 10, 11 shows later. I've lost count. Not I've lost count. I don't remember because I'm autistic. But what got you into strongman?
There was this guy, this poor little socially awkward homeschool boy who worked with my mother, and he needed a job. So I got him a job, and I asked him if he liked sports, and he started talking about strongman. I was like, no, I meant like normal sports. And then he was like, well, I don't watch normal sports. I only watch strongman. And so I had to watch it to know what he was talking about, so I could talk to him about it at work. And then it was like, oh, this young's actually pretty cool. So,
He sounds like a great guy. Sounds like he has some like great just moral personality traits.
I don't know.
Next question.
So, next question.
Well, here. You had to come up with the last question. Let me come up with this one. What is so you've done one competition so far, right? You've done Red Brick Rumble. That was your first show, and you competed in the novice here 8 weeks ago ish, closer to 12 actually.
Yeah.
So that means you've been training for strongman for like what, 16 to 20 weeks, somewhere in there. Because you had time for like about 6 weeks prep for Red Brick. What has been the hardest thing to learn about, or hardest thing to prepare for or train for so far in strongman?
The hardest
Or
thing,
the hardest part about it, for you.
the hardest thing is trying to take the static lifts that I was doing before strongman. Essentially it was, you know, back and bicep day, and then I would do chest to tricep day, and then I would do squats. And so trying to take that and translate that into strongman didn't work very well at first, because it was mostly the odd implements that gave me the most trouble. Just trying to figure out how to pick a yoke and walk with it instead of just squat, or pick up a frame and walk with it. The sandbags really weren't that big of a deal.
I wonder why.
Yeah, do that every day for work.
Working here improved my sandbags.
The overhead really was the hardest. Trying to learn I guess the technique of everything is the hardest. Like, just doing regular gym stuff, yeah, doesn't translate well if you're not doing very many technique driven stuff.
Which is definitely true. But like the uniqueness of some of the implements, it's one of those things that it's like, if you're not technically perfect on it, doesn't matter how strong you are, you're going to be limited by your technique.
Yes.
Which, for me and you, makes it really hard given our limited equipment. We have to figure out how to train what we foresee to be our technical deficiencies, not actually being able to train technique.
Yes. Being able to take a random object we have and try to use it and figure out a way to make it work.
How can we train log with this beer keg?
Yes. Then I will say, like, I didn't deadlift a ton before strongman training, and kind of learning the technique of how not to throw your back out in like a standard barbell deadlift. Kind of took me a minute.
Well, you've picked up steam with that quickly.
Yeah.
You went from, what was your last heavy straight bar deadlift we did prior to Red Brick?
405.
For a week. You didn't know it was 405.
No, I did not.
You thought it was 365, but you had a buddy who loaded the bar heavy for you. But you, that darn awkward homeschooler.
He striked again.
Slippery little Jew.
Yes.
But no, so 405 for a double, and then this past, what was it, Saturday or Sunday you deadlifted?
It was Saturday.
Saturday, you pulled 430 for 3 sets of 8 at a 15-inch deadlift. So, Florida partial pull, but at the same time, to go from, because you had never deadlifted over 400 at all prior to that on any variation, to doing it at a slightly elevated pull. It's not even like, it's an extreme like rack pull or something. It's just a 15-inch pull.
The only thing I was doing that was the same before was I went from 315 trap bar deadlift to 505 for a set of 5.
And what was your reps at 315? It was like what, 3x8?
3x5.
Dang, that's a lot of improvement, eh?
Great coach.
Great. Just no. You're just a great athlete, and I'm sure whoever your coach is is honored to be working with such a specimen of a human.
Yes, of course. This is the peak of male athleticism right here.
There's not a thing you can do about it.
I mean, it really makes me feel bad for myself not being able to coach such a perfect athletic specimen like my coach gets to coach.
It's a blessing.
Truly
Blessing.
blessed.
But
All right, I got one for you. What is your ultimate goal for strongman?
ultimate, so end goal. Not talking about the way that I'm planning on trying to get there, but end goal
Just
is
end goal.
is to. If I were to say end goal is to win natural worlds under 200. That is currently what
200
I'm.
kilos?
Can you imagine 440 on me? Holy cow!
Lucas Hack?
Austin Andrade. Oh no, under. So that would be like under 90 kilo. So right now, most of my good competitions, whenever I've actually been in shape and been performing well, I've competed under 220. The only time I've competed over that were the first couple novice shows, and then I competed at an under 275 back in September, October time period.
Mm-hmm.
But I had cut down to under 220, and then everybody else in my class dropped out last minute. And so instead of competing by myself, I went up a weight class. So I competed at the under 275s at what was technically 222. Like I rage ate that night, and I still was 222 that morning. I genuinely cut to under 220. And then Red Brick, I competed at 242 because I was going to compete with a friend, but then the friend didn't make weight. Which is fine, because if he had made weight, I would have come fourth. By him not making weight, I managed to get on the podium.
Great success.
He cannot afford. Great success.
He cannot cut weight.
But no. So right now I'm working on making a genuine cut. I would like to cut to under 200 minimum. Realistically, the lower I can go, and that puts my maintenance a little bit higher. Because I would like to ideally sit around 210 and then prep and water cut down to under 200. But I haven't seen 210 this decade. Last time I saw 210 was back in 2019, so I haven't seen 210 this decade.
Yeah.
Which back then I was 15, so I haven't seen it since like my freshman year of high school. Which, but phrasing it that way makes it sound like such a long time ago. But like, I haven't been that light during a competitive athletic time period of my life. So
I don't know if I've been 210 since I started gaining weight when I got married. I was under 200
sounds like
7 years ago.
You're trying to blame somebody.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
see,
not me.
we've pretty much been the same size for the last 7 years, because we would have been around the same size back in 2019, 2020, and then you got married and I got depressed, and it just, which I mean, same. But no, ultimate goal, and this is like, I would say realistically, this is like a 7-8 year goal.
Which,
if I could
that's
accomplish
good,
that, which that's reasonable, because by then, like, I'd be like
30.
close to 30. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I could accomplish something like that by 30,
That's pretty good.
that's a decent athletic career. I could retire off of that. And I say retire. I could stop killing myself and be content with that.
Not gonna pull a Mark Felix and go
go to
65?
Go to 78? No. Like, I fully believe I will retire before Mike Felix does, which is a wild statement.
I mean, that is insane.
No, but what is your end goal within the sport, or what do you want to get out of it by the time you're done with it?
I don't know. See, we have kind of different. We got in it at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're young.
Mm-hmm.
That was like that's your
You're
thing.
old.
I'm old. That's your thing. Is like you were really training and pushing, and this is more of like I wouldn't say I guess it is a hobby. like just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get stronger, in a functional way. The training is a lot more fun than what I was doing before.
Yeah, I mean, you can
So
only do so many bicep curls.
yeah, and then you tear them like that guy on the preacher.
I still never do them.
And then
I
that's when
mean,
you stop.
you were talking about that the other day. You were like, you used to bench like at least once a week, maybe more, and now it's you haven't benched. Anyways, you're old. That's what
Yes.
we're getting at.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway from this question. What do you
Yes.
appear to? What do you want to get out of it? Nothing really, because I'm old.
I don't know. Just kind of get stronger,
I mean, it's.
and then I guess I like the competition. I've only done one. I liked it. It was pretty cool. Everybody was dope there. Uh, Not that I've just been a big guy like my whole life, but I've never been a small guy. And then there was people at Red Brick that was like, "Oh my god, that is a big guy."
Oh, I'm
Like
tiny,
that guy is a big fella.
but large.
Yes.
Big man blastoids.
Yes, large human. As Nick Saban would call them, large humans.
Large humans.
But plus, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like I've been in better shape than I've been in the last several years, just doing this. And so
It's a great style of training because it's versatile enough. It makes the ADHD people happy
Yes.
because you aren't doing the same thing every single time. You get to change it up every couple of weeks. Pedophile. At least it's in the bike lane.
disgust.
But it's also you're not gonna regret being able to pick up and carry an odd shaped object.
Yes.
Like that's a nice skill to be able to have. Because I mean, children are fairly odd shaped objects.
Yeah, that's where I do most of my rehab.
That's your active
deload.
recovery.
Yes. I see how many times I can throw Blaine to my shoulder. He asked me why I go to get stronger, and I told him so I can be useful. And he said, "Well, what happens when you get useful?" I said, well, I got to become more useful.
I gotta become more useful.
Yes, we're looking for peak usefulness. That way, when my mother asks me to move, I can help her move by myself. Or,
See, that is the story of the strongman. As you will, for as soon as people figure, like already being a bigger guy, and for me being a bigger guy with a pickup truck, like you get asked to move random people all the time. I'm going to help somebody's grandmother move after work tonight.
Yes.
But once they figure out that that's what you do for funsies, like then everybody, and I mean everybody, it's a curse.
So, let's see here. What is your favorite strongman event to do?
My favorite strongman event to do would be, see, it's one of two, and one of them I've never had in a competition before, and so I've never even like run a training cycle with it. But that would be frame carry. I love a good frame carry. The couple times that I've just like a lot of times whenever I'll compete and I'll kind of have like a deload week afterwards where I just kind of like feel out my body and make sure everything's fine because I don't tend to do a lot of competitions close together, so it's not like I have to hop right back into prep. And I'll kind of towards the end of that week I'll be feeling fine, and I'll just play around with some actual heavy weights on some lifts that I normally don't do. And frame carry always makes it in because I love it so much. It's like I have a good grip, so like picking up stuff like a frame is easy. So for me, it's like, okay, how many steps can I take with this? Because it's like I'm going to be able to pick it up, I'm going to be able to stand up with it, and I'm going to be able to hold on to it for a really long time. So it's how far can I walk before my hips give out, essentially. But frame carry, and then I would say my favorite that I've done in competition, and my favorite to train, my favorite to do in competition, and what I feel like is perhaps the pinnacle of strength is the action clean and press.
I knew it was coming.
I'm decent at pressing. I would like to think that I'm decent at pressing.
I mean, for your age, you're pretty dang good.
I'm pretty dang good, but unfortunately, I don't compete against people my age.
Yes. You Compete against old guys.
I compete against old guys like you. But no, I'm decent at it, and I feel like it's as much as people love the deadlifts. I feel like a clean and press overhead. And you can argue axle or log. I just prefer an axle, but up until late, I've never had a log to regularly train on, so maybe I'm wrong in that. But a clean and press, you have to have a strong upper and lower back. You have to have strong biceps and triceps and wrists. You have to have strong shoulders. You have to have a big chest. You have to have explosive legs. You have to have the ability to recover, because like that training for a heavy axle will take it out of you. Like, and I'm not just talking about like, oh, I'm tired now, let me go do my accessories. Like, no, like you'll wake up the next day and like your knees will ache from having to like have a catch that weight. It takes to be able to push that hard takes a lot of grit over a training block or a series of
especially if you're training
prep.
for like a clean every rep kind of press.
Yes.
You don't realize that you'll be 5 presses in
and you're like, ah.
gassed.
But no, I would say I love training an axle, and I'm halfway decent at it, so which makes me like it even more. What about you? What's your favorite event so far?
So, my favorite event is not actually my favorite event. My favorite event to do is not my favorite event.
To like watch other people do.
Yes. My favorite event to do is the sandbag. Like some kind of sandbag carry or run.
Is that just because you're good at them?
Yes. But they're not my favorite because I feel like they're probably the easiest thing I did. So it's not my favorite.
Because it just came naturally to you.
Yes. My favorite event is probably the log, which is my worst event. Well, and that's why it's my favorite, is because
you're so hyper fixated on
it.
Yes,
I fixate on the things that I suck at, hopefully trying to make it things I don't suck at.
Yes.
But like, I really like deadlifts. It's just I like the frames just because I know I'm going to be able to pick the frame up almost whatever.
Right.
You know, carrying it's fun.
At your level, you've yet to approach a weight that is unliftable for you, as far as that goes. I mean, you're pulling 500 for a set of 5. Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous for your level. That's a heavy set of frame for me at this point.
The like my worst event was in Red Brick. The only event I couldn't do was the log press, and I've thought about that log press every night since. And so now, that's my favorite event because I've watched so many log presses.
You're just sitting there saying Big Z's name in your sleep, and your wife's like, "Who is that? Yes. Who's she?
Who is he?
Oh, Zindrunas.
His name is Ladrunas Viscus. Big guy.
Great guy.
But another event I really like is the yoke. I hate the swing straps we have because I'm like right there in between the height where the first notch is too long, and so it scrapes the floor. And then if I try to roll them up, it's way too high. It's hitting me in the knees. But when I actually got to use the yoke at Red Brick, it felt nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really just because I think I have bigger legs, so it's pretty stable.
Dragging out hose like you do at work, that requires a lot of hip stability, and walking up and down the hills and the amount of walking that you do carry and stuff. Yeah. You were definitely at a good. Your body was natural to those, not because you're just genetically gifted for it. You've accidentally been training for it for years without knowing it. Speaking of training, what are you training for now? What is your next thing?
I think the next thing I'm going to do is Hub City in September.
That's the 26th, right?
Yes. So I'll be. That's probably the next thing I'll be prepping for.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to talk another guy that I know into doing it, but he's being kind of selfish. Something about a wedding he's having, like he's in.
I'm involved with a little bit.
Yes.
I think I think the bride would be kind of angry if I didn't show up for that one.
Well, she could come too.
The groom probably wouldn't be very happy either.
Yes.
Well, the groom would understand. He would just regret that I made that decision later.
Yes. Gotta be careful.
I'm over here.
Sounds like you're getting Kate married. The groom wouldn't like it if I wasn't there.
I am the groom, damn it.
That's what she wants you to think.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. No.
But yeah.
Not I. Yeah, no, that's the week after the wedding. I may could show up to like help you, but I can't compete then.
Yes. But
could you imagine competing after? I mean, what a deload week that would be going on. I would feel like garbage.
Hips are the only thing that's been worked.
Oh no.
But I am excited about it.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time I've done a keg press. It'll be the first time I've done a yoke press. It'll be.
I mean, and you'll see this as you go on, which again, that's the great thing about strongman being so diverse is there's so much to go off of. I can only think of 2 events that I've had to do twice, and that was a standard height max deadlift, which I did at Mississippi's and at Red Brick, and then a log for reps, which we had at Red Brick, and I had at my first competition 3 years ago.
Well, I mean,
like, so I've done like a dozen competitions, and like we've had logs or we've had deadlifts, but
there's so many variants.
It changes height, it changes straight bar, neutral grip, axle bar, deficit deadlift. Gosh, I had a deficit axle deadlift once, brother. That was I went in tied for 3rd with that one. I got to go head to head against the guy I was tied against, who was my training partner at the time.
Oh my god,
brother, it was lit.
That sounds so bad. I do not like that.
Getting all my speed off the floor, deficit actually made it better. I don't know if I could.
Oh,
great. But no, Hub City will be good for you. They're good events. They'll be fun events, and it's a well run show. It's a well run show.
That's probably the last show I'll do this year. I think. I don't know of any more.
We'll look at trying to give you a slightly heavier schedule next year. Yeah, I think it's good for you this year just to do 1 or 2 just to get a feel for it and to spend a lot of time in the gym getting better and getting better at the movements in general, getting better at the core movements, getting better at deadlifts, getting better at overhead pressing, getting better upper back and pulling strength and a tighter core brace for all the moving events. Get you just familiar enough that way next year whenever we throw you into the deep end, you won't drown fully.
Yes. I'm buoyant. I'll float. What about you? What's your next athletic endeavor?
We ain't got time for that one.
Sure we do. Nothing.
Not nothing.
Because you're retired.
I'm not retired.
Old man retired.
I'm taking a sabbatical.
Sabbatical.